Ping Pong Critics review of Legend of Korra, Book 4, Episode 4. I'm Daniel.
I'm Nick.
And thank you for joining us. We are advancing to the middle of the season at this point, Episode 4 already, believe it or not.
This is 12 episodes, so shouldn't Episode 6 be the middle of
Yeah,
the season?
but we're getting there, that's what I'm saying. Jeez, Nick.
We're a little over halfway to the halfway point.
Hey, there you go. We're a little over halfway. This episode was it was definitely an homage to...
It had a lot of great elements in it, but it also had some goddamn bullshit.
Okay, we'll get into that, but it's definitely an homage to...
No, I don't think so.
You don't think
I can see why you're saying that the kids traveling...
I was going to say homage to The Last Airbender, just to clarify, but as you were saying...
Like the kids traveling across the town, but it's not.
It's not, no?
It doesn't have anything like it, really.
I mean, they constantly make references.
Yeah, no, they make
Airbender.
references to it, but that doesn't mean an homage.
Okay, sure, why not? I mean, we can disagree. But, just to clarify, we are following Miko, Iki, and Jinora on their journey to find Korra. Now, a big part of the episode was character development for Iki, which is the middle child, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and up until this point, she hasn't really had a character in the show, which I think is a good thing that... Or, it's not a good thing that she didn't have a character, but it's a good thing that they're expanding on this.
Yeah. She still doesn't really have a character, though.
I think she does. Just, not as well developed as the other two are. And it's difficult to develop so many characters to their full extent in a show like this, with so many elements. But, it was surprisingly humorous, the kid's journey, especially with stuff like the berries and such. Milo was pretty funny with his little love affair.
Surprisingly useful.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's definitely grown up, and we get a good showcast of his amazing artistic abilities.
That's so weird.
It's a beautiful drawing. We're looking at it right now. I'll attach a photo in the video. But it's very well done.
Yeah, and I like how he was very useful. I like, it's all good. I really hate how he gets shafted at the end of the episode. It's just like, oh, we wouldn't have found Korra without Milo making me mad. And it's just, no, you wouldn't.
Yeah,
It
was too traditionally appropriate what they had happen there. Too convenient, if you will.
Yeah.
And obviously Iki gets some interaction with the Earth Nation.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Or Earth Empire soldiers. Yeah, I like that. It was pretty comedic.
And I do like how she's just like, okay.
Yeah, and she puts her hand out.
She's like, oh.
Yeah, come on, guys. You have nothing on her. I like it.
I don't like how she doesn't find Korra through any strength of her own. She gets mad, walks off, gets captured, and then has given a map and then figures out.
Well, I think that it does play into her character, because if it was Milo or Jinora in her place, they would probably not. Jinora wouldn't talk to these soldiers at all, and then Milo would just be super angry. But because Iki is the character that she is, she's able to strike up a conversation and then get them to be on her side one way or the other.
I guess. So they don't want to make point out. That doesn't seem like this was her triumph. It's just like...
Yeah, I guess so. But this episode, once again, going back to the duality of the traditional Avatar storytelling, was also a big episode for Korra and her interactions with Toph and her spiritual journey of trying to redeem herself from...
And it was absolutely great.
Yeah, it
in
was.
every way.
Especially as she's wandering around the swamp, she comes across her past enemies that have hurt her.
Yeah.
It was really well animated and really well put together with the music and everything. It just, all in all, was superb.
Yeah.
Especially with Toph coming back and, she says, she explains that, what, the problems with all your past enemies is they're completely out of balance. They were too extreme, and you think about it, and you're like, yeah, they had good ideas, right? That being, Amon wanted equality, Unalaq wanted the spirit to live with the humans,
which is a terrible idea.
And Zahir wanted just freedom,
which he didn't. He wanted anarchy, which anarchy doesn't make any sense. It's like saying, oh, you can be free from man.
I guess so. But what's important is that the idea that they had an ideal and they pushed it too far. I like that idea, you know? It makes a lot of sense.
I don't like, however, that they're going with that with every villain in the series.
I guess so.
I always like a good old-fashioned villain who's just trying to get himself ahead.
I feel like those elements, or those enemies are more building something up more than anything else, so they're like tools, right? There was a funny moment where Korra is just hanging out with Toph, and she's like, "Hey, you should tell me the story of when you when you taught the Avatar earthbending." And she's like, "What is there to tell? I threw some rocks at the Avatar. He got all whiny, and Sokka fell in the hole." That's hilarious. And when it's like, "Oh yeah, it was hot. I was on a blimp, and I think a giant turtle showed up. What a day!" It's just so Toph-like, yeah. It's perfect. I absolutely adored that. And it's just a big episode for character development at the end of the day, and just some beautiful animations.
There were some cheesy things, like when there were some moments with the kids which were just dumb as shit.
Yeah, I guess so.
And there were that final moment when they're just like, "Oh, we couldn't have done it without you, and we couldn't have done it without you, and we couldn't have done it without you." Oh,
that was a very cliched moment. I feel that, but when she went to that tree that connected, first of all, that was absolutely gorgeous. I mean, I have a picture right here. It looks like something out of a storybook. It's beautiful, and obviously the meeting between Toph and the kids worked pretty well. I felt that, you know. She's like, "I like this one with the Milo." Yeah. All right, so we come to the end of the episode, and once again, this is a really massive moment for Korra, and that is she's taking the metal poison out of her body, right?
Yeah.
She's bending it out. And did you like that moment?
I'd say I like that moment. It kind of had a reminisce of when Aang was opening his chakras, and it's just like, "Oh, you have to release your fear," and it's like, "Okay, I release my fear."
Yeah.
But it had a bit more heart to it than that, and you could feel that this is what she's been building up for the past 3 years.
Absolutely, and the animation there was good too, like how she sweated the metal out of her body, and it became like a little pool right in front of her. I like that. Yeah.
And I also like how Toph stored it, because she's probably going to try and kill the Avatar at some point. That's the only thing I can assume she's storing it for.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I felt that it was a little too convenient. I hope they come back to this, because they spent a whole episode 2, building this up. I don't feel like she's completely recovered just yet. I feel like she's going to encounter a problem. It's like mentally.
Well, I think the problem is that she's going to have a problem deciding when to step in with Kuvira.
Yeah, I agree too. And she's probably going to have a problem with the Avatar state and all that too. But you saw she went into the Avatar state for a bit, you know, she got the middle out.
And I've always been impressed with how the creators of the show have dealt with the Avatar state in both Legend of Korra and Avatar: Last Airbender. Because it's just terrifying at times.
Yeah, it really is. It's in the best way possible, of course, to great effect.
And the episode at the start of season 2 of the Last Airbender show is a great way of showing, no, don't use the Avatar state often.
Yeah. That's the episode, more or less. Thematically and tonally, I thought it stayed consistent within its storylines. Like this, regardless of, you know, the lesser elements of the storyline of the kids, thematically and tonally it stayed consistent. While with Korra, it stayed very emotional and very much it's a character development with the, you know, the animation of the past enemies she had and the whole philosophy there.
I mean, had a lot of Toph is Toph.
Yeah,
and that's great.
Yeah, we talked about how Toph can be pretty easy. Like, she has a pretty clear voice, but then again, she's also. I can see how they can mess that up, but I'm glad they didn't. Yeah, it worked out very well. And connecting to this season as a whole, it's a character growth episode, and that's what it is at the end of the day. All right, let's score this thing. First of all, Nick, is it Nick approved?
Yes.
It is Nick approved. You heard him. You heard Nick say it. I didn't say it, Nick did. But I would agree with you.
It's close. Some of the annoying things with the kids' storyline detracted from it, but I still think that it's something you want to watch.
Yeah, and I felt that the Korra stuff worked really well.
Yeah, it was great.
All right. Once again, to recap, we score movies out of 10, TV episodes out of 5, series out of 100, and games out of 100. Nick?
4.
4 out of 5. Wow. All right. Yeah, I like that. I like that score. Personally, you heard my opinions. I think I liked it a little more than Nick did. The kid stuff didn't bother me as much. In fact, I found it quite enjoyable, and I thought the Korra stuff was very well done.
Well, the thing with the kid stuff, there were enjoyable parts, but there were also fucking stupid parts.
Fair enough. So I'm going to give it a 4.3 out of 5. Once again, that's 4.3 out of 5 from Daniel, 4 out of 5 from Nick. Thank you for joining us, and take it easy.
See ya.